It's midnight. Hello, good morning. We've jumped from Saturday, June 6th, right into Sunday, June 7th. Good morning to you. At the stroke of midnight, it is midnight, the witching hour. My name is Quincy Brown, and for the next hour, my guest will be none other than Mr. Lucas Anglin. He is a philosopher, a writer, and an artist. Midnight Minds is a show for those who like to stay up all night, you insomniacs, those who work the graveyard shift, and those who are just generally up. We thought we would enhance the Cayman scene by providing yet another talk show that comes to you at the midnight hour. For the next hour, we're going to be finding out the personality of Lucas, his artwork, his life story, and we're so glad that you're a part of the broadcast. Lucas, if you're tuned in, which I know you are, I just need to see that you're there so that I can send you the invite and get you onto the screen. Okay, that'll just take a few moments. I'm so happy that Lucas has agreed to come on. Lucas Anglin is a Caymanian American artist. He's worked most of his life in tourism. He's made a history of making music and writing, but he only really started getting serious about art in the last 2 years. And he tells me that he's really enjoying creating art. And it's always good when an artist is actually selling, because that way you're able to provide for yourself. So making art is one thing, getting your artwork sold is another. So, Lucas, we're waiting for you to come on. I need to see your icon so I can send you the invite. And that will be fine. Let me see if this is Lucas here. Oh, that's Tanya. Okay. Hi, Tanya. Glad that you're watching. This might just take a moment or two. Ashley, I see that you're awake as well. And Ingrid, all the way in East End. You're not sleeping at the midnight hour, so glad that you're here. So let's find out a little bit more about Lucas Anglin. Lucas Anglin, okay, so he's really gotten serious about his artwork in the past 2 years, and he's really enjoying it. Lucas is a big believer in the golden rule. In other words, do unto others as you would have done unto you. He's a firm believer in that, and he does not like to see anyone treated unfairly. Lucas's plan is to eventually have his own art studio here on Grand Cayman with a focus on futuristic art styles and mediums. You can see his artwork on Instagram. Do you have an Instagram account? If you do, you can check Lucas's artwork right now on Instagram. Lights Eye Art. That's at lights, as in the light that's turned on, with an S. LIGHTSEYEART. Lights Eye Art. Or on Facebook, Lights Eye Art. So whether you're on Facebook or on Instagram, just look for Lights Eye Art, and you'll get to actually see the works of Lucas Anglin. And if there's a piece that you particularly like, you may want to purchase it. Okay, Lucas will be on in the next 60 seconds. This will just take a while. I wanted to make sure I did the introduction. That's a bit about Lucas, all right? In about 10 seconds. So for the next hour, it's all about Lucas Anglin. Again, thank you for tuning on. You're not sleeping. You're like me. You're a late night person, aren't you? Good to see you, John. Okay, Lucas, so you're connected now, and there you are. Good morning.
Morning, Quincy. How are you?
Hi, good, brother. What is happening?
All right.
Good to see
Just
you,
trying to
Lucas.
get this on set. All right.
Take your time. Take your time, brother. We have an hour.
Okay.
So I'm a naturally loud person. My voice
Uh-huh.
tends to carry, but I'm having to speak in whisper. I'm having to speak in whispered tones as to not wake up
Okay.
the other members of the household. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you.
Because everybody's fast asleep. And out of the
Yep.
many shows that I do on the internet, this is the one that comes at midnight. So a lot of people are asleep, but this show is for those who don't sleep at midnight, for all the insomniacs, for those working the graveyard shift, and for those looking for good entertainment at midnight in the Cayman Islands. They can tune into the Midnight Minds show. It can be
Yes,
highly
sir.
intellectual, Yeah, it's very intellectual. Sometimes it's political, but on a night like
Oh,
tonight, it's one of my favorite topics. We get to deal with the finer aspects of life, and that is art. Art.
okay. Awesome.
Thank you for agreeing. Now I need you, Lucas. I'm only seeing half of you, so I need you to sort of come more. There you go. I want to get you more in the center. Okay.
All right. Just trying to
And I
fix
have a very dear friend, Isadora, watching, and she will tell us how the lighting is, and if we're center of the camera. God bless
Oh,
Isadora. She always gives me good feedback.
all
Excellent.
right.
So are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, and I can see you as well.
Okay. All right, good.
Good. We'll get right into it. As I said, I'm speaking in whispered tones as to not wake up my other family members. They're fast asleep. So all
Okay.
right. So
I can hear
Lucas,
you loud.
in reading your biography, I understand that you are an American Caymanian. Talk about that. Where did you grow up? Talk about your childhood.
Okay. Well, yeah, my dad's Caymanian, my mom's American. Um, she was pregnant with me down here in 1987. Um, she ended up moving away, I think in May of 86. And then I was born in January 87 up there in Minnesota. Um,
Mm,
and I spent the first 10 years of my life up there. Um, I had a couple family members from here visit up there, but spent the first 10 years of my life up there and then moved down here and did my school until high school. And then I bounced back up there, graduated at 16 down here, went back up and did my last 2 years of high school back in the States as well. So bounced around a lot, I guess. But I call Cayman home. So yeah.
understand. I understand completely. You have dual citizenship. So you've spent time in both countries, both the Cayman Islands and the United States of America. You were born in America to an
Right.
American mother and a Caymanian father. Of the
Yep.
two countries, though, where have you spent the most time? If you are to do the math and break it down.
So 10 years, first 10 years of my life in the States, and then 2 years of high school. So that's 12 years, and I'm 33 years old. So spent more time here. Yeah,
Hmm.
about 21 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was growing up? How was growing up? I mean, compare the Cayman childhood and the American childhood. If you are to make a comparison, what are some of the things
Okay.
you enjoyed? What are some of the things you really didn't like about both
Um,
existences?
okay. Well, I know. I mean, I would call my childhood really. I always say my childhood was in the States, but I grew up here. So as a child, from I mean 1 to 10, I wasn't really aware of the world too much. Um, but I was always aware of my, because we grew up in a small town in Minnesota that didn't have too many skin colors other than white. So I was aware that he was different, but I didn't really understand that till I mean later on in life. But
Hmm.
he did a lot to pull himself up from there. He had actually got himself sober around that time and was working at, I mean, 3 jobs at a time to start out, and we were living in a tiny apartment. And um, he managed to work his way up to being in charge of catering at a big college up there, um, and just did very well for himself. And that was kind of his. We were just talking about that last night. That just kind of set him on his course for life to eventually manage. He managed the Hemingways down here after that, and then went on to um, take over Cap Marvin's from his uncle, Cap Marvin. So
You're obviously talking about your father, and I
yes, sir.
remember myself working at the Hyatt Regency Grand Cayman as a concierge, and I remember when he was managing Hemingway's. This
Okay.
was back in the
Oh,
1990s. I can actually recall
oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
your dad, a hard worker, the
Hmm.
breadwinner, providing for you, his son. We've heard a bit about dad. We haven't heard much about mom. Talk about mom and talk about your brothers and sisters, if you would.
Okay. Well, my mother was. at that time working in she was a surge technician, surgery. So she would um a surge tech, so she would like assist in surgeries up there. So
I
she
see.
was working crazy hours, but still spending a lot of time with me. I I mean they did a good job of both being there for me my whole life. I was the only child up until 8 years old, as far as I knew, and that was when my sister was born. So when I was 8 years old, that's just before my sister was born. They sat down and had a talk with me because they thought I could understand that I actually had a brother for a different mother, um, and he's 2 years younger than me. So I hadn't met him, and it took another 2 years to actually meet him. So I met him when I was 10, just before I was moving down here. So we didn't really get to know each other more till he started coming down here on vacation every year, and we started spending time together. And then he's lived here a little bit as well.
Mm,
My sister, um, she actually passed away in 2014 at the age of 19.
my condolences.
Suddenly, yeah, thanks. So it was sudden and it was kind of a shock. Um, so I mean, we're still the anniversary of her death was actually just June 4th, a couple of days ago.
Wow.
So it's always a tough time of year.
Yes, of course it would
But
be.
yeah,
So,
um,
Lucas, in reading your biography, it says that you are a firm believer in the golden rule, which means do unto others as you would have done unto you. And you
correct.
say that you do not like to see anyone getting treated unfairly. You have two homes. Cayman is your home, America is your home. How does it make you
Yeah.
feel when fellow Caymanians in the Cayman Islands are discriminated against simply because they're Caymanian? And how does it make you
Hmm.
feel in America people are discriminated against because of color of skin? How do these evils, how do they make you feel? How do you react to them?
Yeah, it's I don't like seeing it. I know majority of good people don't like seeing it. Um, I think I have always seen both sides of it from a young age, understanding that my father was one color, my mother was one color, and it didn't mean anything to me until I was taught what it meant socially. Um, and understanding his, I didn't. It wasn't really an issue when I was there when I was 10 years old, but when I look back at it now and seeing the way he was treated a little bit differently, I can see it then because we grew up in a good town, understanding town still. But they still had their um, difficulties with dealing with a person that they had never seen before. Because first of all, he's Caymanian, so most it's not like you go up there because you go up there mostly he's just a black man. When he
Yeah.
has to explain himself, he's Caymanian. So people say, "What is that?" So they gotta explain that. Say, "Where's Cayman?" and that whole conversation.
Yes.
Um, but I don't like seeing people getting treated unfairly at all.
Yes.
Um, I think
But
us as Caymanians, we do that a lot too. We've got a lot of hard-headed Caymanians that are still stuck in their ways. We've got a lot of people that are in this new generation, and even mine and your ages that are more understanding and stuff too. Especially with things how they are now in the states. It's been more race has been more in our faces than it's been in a good while. I mean, maybe since the 60s in the States. So, I mean, it's bringing up uncomfortable topics, and a lot of people are saying what's on their chests, and a lot of people are really touchy about that. So, I think one thing we should understand is that people are going to feel how they feel, and no one's wrong. Well, I mean, no one's really wrong or right for feeling how they feel,
but
but I
Lucas,
think dialogue is the most important thing.
the racism that you see in the United States of America, do you also see
Mm.
that in Cayman, or is it non-existent here?
it's not the same.
It's not the
It's not
same.
to the same. It's not the
Uh-huh.
same level. It's a
Okay.
different kind of um,
What
racism, classism
is
kind
it?
of thing. It's not.
Is it sort of like nationality against nationality in Cayman? Some nationalities
Yeah,
superior and other
but
nationalities inferior, perhaps, in Cayman?
um, yeah, there's people that look at it like that too, and there's
Hmm.
definitely the whole skin color thing too. Because even with
Really?
Caymanians, one thing, I've always got to explain myself that I'm Caymanian or prove it, pull out my passport um, because of my skin color.
Really?
Um, even though, yeah, so even though that's what when I work in tourism, one of the first things that I say about Cayman is a Caymanian could look like me or could look like you or anything in between that. That's one of the
Yes.
biggest things I love about Cayman is if you pick 10 people out of the world and you had to pick the Caymanian out of those 10 just by a picture, it'd be tough to do because we're really diverse.
But you've not gotten in trouble in Cayman for being too white, have you? Or the white American
No,
kid living in West Bay? You never got none of
right.
that, did you? No,
No, no.
because you identify as being Caymanian American or American Caymanian. Yes?
Yep, yep.
So, did you choose art or did art choose you? Let's talk about your artwork. When did you get
Um,
started?
I think it actually, I don't know, both ways, because when I was doing music, I started trying to design my own covers just to save money. So it started out with just editing Photoshop and stuff like that. And then, so that was, I mean, 10 years ago. So, but I hadn't really played, like, I liked it then and I only did it for, like mixtape or album covers or something like that.
Hmm.
And then a couple of years ago, um, I decided to pick it up as a hobby and just kind of got obsessed with it and spent most of my free time doing it. And I just um, get everything off my mind, just kind of zone out and just enjoy what I'm doing. And it's been a real help to me. Yeah.
Excellent. It can be very therapeutic. And for my viewers and listeners just tuning in, we are now 17 minutes past the midnight hour. Good morning to you. It's Sunday, June 7th, 2020. It is Midnight Minds, the show where we get intellectual, the show where we talk about things, the show that keeps you entertained and informed. It's always good to have a guest, and my guest this morning is none other than Mr. Lucas Anglin, all the way from the Republic of West Bay. West Bay is the center of the universe, and today
uh,
we had some politicians in the West Bay district going about handing out computers, iPads, and
oh, wow.
Wi-Fi boxes. Yes, because the representatives from West Bay realize that every child deserves a good education. And in these
Yeah.
times, under COVID 19, a lot of kids are at home having to do Zoom classes and classes online. So the politicians of West Bay got together, they formed a committee, did the necessary fundraising, and they were able to purchase computers, iPads, and all the things that's needed for a child to be at home to get an education. So it's good to see that in your community of West Bay, the representatives are out and about doing things like that.
Oh, that's
I,
nice.
I say all to say that I say all of that to say that you're from a good community, West Bay. I love West Bay. When I first moved to Grand Cayman, West Bay adopted me, and I think that's where you and I got to know each other better too. When we both lived in
Huh?
West Bay, I moved out of West Bay. You're still there. Tell me,
Right.
I've introduced you not only as an artist, but as a writer and a philosopher. I know you're a very deep thinker. You write. What I don't know is what sort of writing do you do? Are you a Stephen King sort of writer, or are you a more of a Naipaul sort of writer? What do you write? Fiction? Scientific? What do you write? What sort of stories do you write, Lucas? I'd like to read some of
Well,
them.
okay. I do. Um, I started writing actually when I was a kid. I had this story when I was, I mean, I think it was around 2 years old that I used to tell my parents that I was from another planet where we could watch TV all night and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I started writing a whole backstory for that, and then started writing music. I was into music for a while, and but I don't know. The only books I've actually read besides books I've had to read for book reports are the Lord of the Rings books.
Ah.
So I'm not like a big reader, and I still get confused about which one's fiction and which one's nonfiction. So um, my writing, I write, I guess it's made up stories,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Good. Okay.
where I'm, I guess, kind of science fiction,
Mm-hmm.
um, kind of thing. Yeah.
Did you ever follow the Harry Potter series, or you didn't get into that?
My sister really liked that, so actually in the last 6 years since she passed, I've actually got a lot more into that and
Mm-hmm.
start rewatch the movies from then, and yeah, I enjoy that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Lucas, your artwork. The great artist Vincent van Gogh. He was a very
Hmm.
depressed man.
Ah,
As a matter of fact, he committed suicide. He couldn't get any of his artwork sold, and his brother sort of patronized him by buying some of his artwork while he was alive to make him feel good. But Vincent van Gogh didn't become the great artist uh, as we know him as today until after
okay.
the fact. So we honor him
Oh,
posthumously. Uh,
hmm.
your artwork, you sort of got a bit excited and inspired when you started to sell, because every artist
Right,
creates, obviously, but you have to make a living as well. What
right.
art style do you use? Acrylic, oil and canvas? Are you a sculptor? And can you show us some of your artwork on screen so that we can see?
Okay, yeah,
Ooh,
we'll do. So I do digital art, so it's all on
digital art.
computer. Right.
Ah, so
Yeah.
you're not using a
So
paintbrush to paint then. I see.
no, I've got a pad that I hook up to my computer and I sit and draw on the pad, and whatever I draw on the pad shows up on the screen. And then I can basically format that as size it to a canvas, and then
Yes.
just whatever I'm gonna paint and get it printed out like that.
Now that's
So I've got
fascinating.
some,
Very.
yeah,
You have
I've
some
got a
where?
screen thing in the background, but I've actually
I
got
can
some of my
see it.
prints here that I could show you physical copies as well.
Could you hold them up to the camera so that my viewers can
Yeah.
see as well, please?
All right, so I'll start with I've got some samples. These ones aren't really for sale. These I just printed out to see how they would look. Actually got them printed out by Quick Images. Um,
Oh,
so I'll
nice.
start. Yeah. So let's see if I can fit it on there
Oh, yes.
and get good lighting. So this is just on luster paper. So it's a good quality paper. Um, but I do a lot of abstract stuff. So
I see.
it's
That was my
I
question.
do some stuff where you can see what I'm doing, but most of the time I'm just freehanding it and seeing what comes when I'm done.
But Lucas, this is a very familiar piece. I've seen this before. Is it possible I saw it on your Facebook page?
That's possible, yeah.
Yeah, it looks very
That's
familiar. What's the name of that
Lights Eye
piece?
Art, Lights Eye Art on Facebook. So it's LIGHTS Lights I Art, EYE Art.
Yes,
At Facebook. I'll try and put a link to it, maybe on the video afterwards or something.
absolutely. Once we come off air, we can put the links because before you came
Okay.
on, I was actually promoting you, and I did tell my viewers that they can catch you on Instagram at Lights Eye Art or on Facebook Lights Eye Art. Lights
That's correct.
Eye
Yep.
Art. Excellent.
There
We'll
you
put the
go.
links up once we come off air. So,
Okay.
my good friend and Kim and Brack, Simone Scott, who has painted her entire life, she's always used paint, colors, the real thing. But even Simone
Oh,
has gone to doing exactly what you just explained, doing it on this software, using your computer, using an iPad to create art.
oh,
Isn't that considered cheating? It's not the same, is it?
that's
Or is it a new way to do art? You
I've
tell
been
us.
told. I've had some people tell me, yeah, it's cheating and they don't consider it the real thing, and I understand that because I've been trying to get in. I've got a bunch of canvases here now, So I've been trying to get into acrylic and stuff like that, and it's definitely not the same, but I would still consider this art because as I look at it, I mean I find um I don't know how you can't call it art. I can see how they would call it cheating,
No,
but
it's not that I'm saying it's not art. It's obviously a different art form. I'm not saying it's
yeah.
not art. Uh,
No,
I'm
not
just thinking.
you, but I've had people tell me that yeah, it's cheating and it's um I don't know if they said it wasn't art, but it's not considered the same. So I've been frowned upon by some, but then some people like it as like a new kind of thing. So
But wouldn't you
yeah,
say it's important to be able to do both? The old school way of doing art and the new way of doing art. That way you can go back
yeah,
and forth. Yeah.
definite,
So,
definite.
Lucas, when do you create? When you're sad, depressed, excited, happy? And is it therapy for you
Um,
to create art? Tell us about that. What goes on in the
okay.
mind of Lucas?
Well, in the last 2 years, I've probably been doing a couple pieces a day, every day. So it's just how I'm, whatever. I don't do it when I'm feeling a certain way, but however I'm feeling, I guess, comes out. Um, but yeah, I've dealt with all the depression, anxiety, all that kind of stuff. But it definitely eases my mind. It gets me um, my mind off of things when my mind is usually on so much, and I feel like I think too much. And then when I'm doing that, it's just like I'm not even here. It's just clear minded, and that's just what I'm doing. So
It's
I do
therapy
it,
for
I
you.
guess, more to
It's
get out of my
therapy
head.
for you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
therapy for you. And I'm sure
Mhm.
this is the motive that got you into it long before making money even crossed the mind. But isn't it a good feeling when you can
Oh yeah.
create an original work of art and you can make a sale? Isn't that a great feeling?
It is. It is. It
Mm,
helps and it lets me keep doing it and stuff as well. So um I do have plans to get into like clothing. I've got plans to get some wallets, phone cases, beach towels, hand towels, blankets, pillowcases, all that kind of stuff.
yes.
Printed with my art and then try and sell that personally down here. Um, so I think I'm gonna get into that lane as well. But I would love to make some money on the side. Hopefully, I find a job here too because I was in tourism and that's kind of gone down the drain. So, I'm actively applying for work with WRC and all that kind of stuff and been getting a lot of opportunities. So hoping to hear something back soon. But um, I would definitely like to have this be my little side thing and have that be something on the side that I do make something from. Yeah.
I've read in your biography where you say that one day you hope to have your own art studio here on Grand Cayman. I wish you every success with that. And that
Like,
your focus is on
yeah.
futuristic art styles and mediums. Is there a good market for that? Wanting to buy?
Um, I think for the futuristic kind of thing that I have in mind is more of an experience. So this is a perfect thing that I can do with this digital art. I don't want to exactly say exactly what it is because I don't want anyone taking that idea and then starting my studio before I do.
Gotcha.
Um,
Gotcha.
but it's definitely like an experience kind of thing that you could only do with the kind of digital media that we have today. So just different technology,
Hmm.
kind of so having a studio where it's an experience where you can go there and you're entertained as soon as you walk in the door.
Gotcha.
Um,
But
yeah.
people have purchased your artwork. Where would they place your artwork? In law firms, in the foyer, in living rooms of a mansion, in bedrooms? Where would Lucas Anglin's artwork be placed by those who would buy his artwork?
Okay. Well, the people I ask most people to send me pictures when they do get it up in their house. So I'm really diverse with it. I've got a bunch more pieces to show as well if we want to get to that.
Definitely.
But people have put it in their kitchens, dining rooms, houses that are going up, rooms that are getting built. Um, one of my aunts in England that I sent a canvas to. She said she was gonna frame, she was rebuilding a room or something and was gonna base the room around the colors that I used in that piece,
Mm,
which was pretty cool to hear.
very nice.
So I guess it's all over the place, and it's really cool to see the people that are really into it. It's really cool to see who really appreciates it, because a lot of the time I found it's people that I wouldn't expect to like my kind of art, and I've got a lot of great compliments about it from people that I wouldn't see enjoying it. So that's a cool part of it too.
And different demographics, teenagers, older people, middle-aged people, tourists, locals. Yeah, a variety of people.
Yeah,
And
for sure. I think um, the biggest kind of area where I get the most attention is the Facebook group.
mm,
So that's a pretty, I would say about 30 years and up is usually on that. So that's where I get most of the attention. I've just started getting in to the Instagram and stuff, so that hasn't quite taken off. But it's really diverse when I'm out in public. I'm usually at Camana Bay every Wednesday when that's open. Um, but that's been shut down since around March 15th or so. So usually out there, I was at Coco Fest this
yes,
year,
that's where
which
I saw
you
you.
hosted.
That's
Yep,
where
I
I saw you
remember that.
last. You had your
Yep.
own Lucas Anglin art booth at Coco Fest. That's where I last saw you, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
And
So
I was also at the Red Sky at Night.
yes, that
Um,
was a great event as
I
well.
heard you
I enjoyed
there. I heard you, but I didn't see you there, I don't think.
it.
Um, yeah, but
I was somewhere around the place. So
yeah.
viewers on Facebook, and Facebook is such a awesome tool. We can
Hmm.
use, like, well, right now I'm using Facebook Live to do a broadcast, for goodness sake. So
Right.
Facebook allows us to network. It allows us to promote ourselves, and we can make a living off of the internet. Because right now, someone on Facebook or Instagram can go to Lights Eye Art, and they can view your work. Now, if someone goes
That's
to
right.
Lucas's page and they look for Lights Eye Art, or they are to go to Instagram and look for Lights Eye Art, and they see a piece of artwork that you've created that they want to purchase, how do they do so? Through PayPal, or do they reach out to you and you connect with them to make a payment and to make a purchase? How would that all work out, Lucas?
So for now, I've actually what I do is they can message me through either Facebook or Instagram, and then I can connect them with a bank account if they want to do that. But mostly, I haven't had much online sales. It's been more when I'm out. I did have a couple weeks ago. I hadn't sold a piece of art since like February. And I was getting kind of down about it, but then I took a different approach of how I displayed my art and stuff and put it up on Facebook and put it together in a different way and put it up there a couple weeks ago, and then just made a bunch of sales in a couple of days. And so that was really inspiring. Um, but yeah, you can just message me on Facebook if there's something you see that you want to have printed, or Instagram. That's how I'm doing it right now, and then I can connect you with a bank account. And but right now I'm only selling the prints that I have because we're not back up and running. So places that I get my prints done um, aren't up and running yet. So right now I'm just selling the physical copies that I have now, so I can show you what I do have left. And then
Right.
once everything
Okay.
starts back again, I'll be able to get more prints.
I'm getting some feedback from viewers who understand videography and they understand how to be on screen, how to be on camera, and we're not balanced. I'm
Okay.
too high and you're too low. So it's for the viewing
Uh,
public, it looks a bit strange. So if we
okay.
could sort of come in the same level, and
I'll try.
we're still only
I've
seeing
got a
half of
weird
you
setup
at
here, so
times. We need to
I'll
see
just try
more
and
of you.
uh, hold the
Yes.
phone, I guess.
You're
I'll
gonna
just try and
hold it.
hold it.
It's gonna kind of be shaky then, won't it?
I guess
Yeah,
so, but my setup have got it set up really weird, so that's about the only way it's gonna work.
but we're still only seeing half of your face. We need to see the entire face, and
Okay. With me, I'm seeing my whole face. Sorry.
yeah, that's fine. No need to apologize, brother. We're just trying to get this right.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
amateur. This is amateur,
Yeah.
but we're trying to make the best of it. And I thank the feedback coming in from persons who are watching who only wants to see us do well and make sure
Right.
it's all right. So I'm still a bit higher than you though, for whatever reason. So, but
Yeah.
we're going to go on with the show. It's 12:35. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. This is Midnight Minds with Quincy Brown. It's every Saturday night, jumping into Sunday morning. Today is Sunday, June 7th. Good morning to you. Thank you for staying up with us for Midnight Minds. The guest is Lucas Anglin, artist, philosopher, and author. Now, you once said to me, Quincy, I have written a story, I've written a book, and I'm thinking of doing an audio book, and I would love you to be the voice. I didn't say yes, I didn't say no, I haven't read it yet. Is that
Right.
one of your was that one of your fiction pieces? That
That's correct. Yeah.
what's the title of it? Give us a synopsis of that story. What is it about? That
Okay.
piece that
Well, it's called Needle Stack. Um, so it's kind of set in an alternate history kind of thing. It's like a Western kind of thing, but alternate history. So let me see. It's about basically a band of kind of criminals, hustlers from back in the Western kind of days, but civilization has advanced to where they've got technology past us. So it's a little mix up of time periods, and then
Mhm.
they're a actual band, so they go around traveling, and I've actually wrote a couple songs for it as well. And I'm still writing the book, so I haven't wrote it. I'm in the process of it.
You're in the
But
process
that's
of it.
right. Yeah.
And writing is not easy, you know. Writing is not easy. There are times we have what we call writer's block. I don't know if you're anything like me, but if you're anything like me, these sort of the hours are when I'm up creating, if I'm in that
For
creative
sure.
mood.
Yep.
Midnight, one
Definitely.
o'clock, 3 o'clock in
Yeah.
the morning when the creative juices are flowing. So that's when I tend to be more artistically creative. I'm sure it's the same for you as well. But
Yeah.
keep at it. Writing is never easy. You do a first draft, a second draft. You don't like how that sounds, or perhaps you like how that sounds. And long before you give it to a proofreader or an editor, you have to be happy with what you've written. It takes time, but
Right.
keep at it
Right.
because we need to encourage more of our Himanian artists, writers, singers, performers, dancers, actors, all of us in the performing
That's
arts
true.
to be original. It's one thing to copy somebody's work, it's a completely
Hmm.
different thing to create your own original works of art. So I want to encourage you to continue that. All right, glancing back at your biography, because there's a lot of information in there that you sent for me. Uh, so you're into music. You can read music. How many instruments do you play?
No, I used to play piano, so I can still kind of scramble around on the keyboard. I played clarinet in high school, but I haven't touched it since then. But it was more like hip hop kind of music, so it was rap. So I would make beats and do some raps and stuff like that too, back in the day.
Where can we hear your music? Do you have any music on YouTube?
I was just talking to one of my friends tonight and yesterday about I've lost all my music because all my music is on CDs.
Uh,
And the CDs are either scratched or I've got them on hard drives. So a lot of my music, I do have some of it, but I've lost most of it. So yeah, that's where I'm at
you
with that.
see, we should never judge a book by its cover. I mean, I could look at you, in the question I'm about to ask, I don't know the answer for, but they say never judge a book by its cover because I could look at Lucas and I could say, well, I think I know him well enough to think that his favorite genre of music is hard rock, rock and roll. I could be wrong. Your favorite music might
Yeah.
be classical music. I don't know. You tell us. What's your favorite
Right.
genre of music? And tell us about the bands that inspire you, some of your
Okay.
favorites.
Um, well, I'm really diverse. I like just about every kind of music. I used to not. There was only three kinds of music that I didn't like, and that was
Country? Oh,
jazz, country, and metal, heavy metal music. But
you did
I
not like those three. You did not like those
I
three: jazz,
I
country,
didn't
and metal. Why not?
I didn't they just didn't ring in my ears the right way, I guess.
Uh,
But I learned to like them in the last couple of years. I've been listening to a lot more instrumental music.
mhm.
So I've been listening more jazz. Sorry I'm moving around so much. I don't have a great
It is what it
setup
is.
for that.
It is quite distracting
Yeah.
for the viewer, actually, to keep shaking the camera
Yeah.
that way, but it is what it is. I've managed to get myself a stand. I didn't always have a stand either, but I'm just so glad to
Okay.
have you on. And I'm sure my viewers
Yeah.
are happy to get to know more about
All right.
Lucas Anglin as well. And more importantly, I want my audience to be supportive of young Caymanian art. So purchase his artwork. You can go on to Instagram, you can go on to Facebook, and all you need to do is search for Lights I Art. Lights as in lights, I and art. You can find him on
Yep.
Facebook and Instagram. Check out his work. If you see something you like, you can always send him a message on Messenger. You can arrange where to meet so you can purchase it and he can collect the
Yep.
money and it'll be a win-win. You'll get yourself a beautiful piece of art and he'll get paid and not be a starving artist. So
There you go.
music, man, music. A lot of people don't like country music. A lot of people love country and western, but those who don't,
Yeah.
it's because it's so sad. My wife died. My dog ran
Hmm.
away. So if you were to play country
Yeah.
music backwards, your wife would come back, your dog would still be alive, and people wouldn't be drinking themselves to death.
Ah, right.
Country music,
Yeah.
but
I hear
it
you.
is what it is. Uh,
Yeah.
and then, are you inspired by any of the classics? Mozart, Beethoven, Bach,
I
any of the classics?
The only time my mom is really big into classical music, so I do listen when she's listening. I do throw on some classical music every once in a while when I'm doing the art, because I enjoy when I'm doing art. For some reason, I don't like hearing lyrics. So
Ah,
even if I'm listening to old classic rock songs, I'll find something on YouTube, classic rock instrumentals. So I'll listen to the beats of, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, um, Carpenters, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean everything. Um, and sometimes I'll throw on jazz music too. Sometimes just um, electric music, all kind of different stuff. Um, but I love to show off what I have left here, the physical copies, if I can do that.
absolutely. We want to see your artwork. The idea is to feature you. So if you still have
Okay.
some more art pieces to show us, be my guest, be our guest. Hold it up to the
All
camera
right.
so that we can, in fact, view. Yes.
All right. So just 1 second. So
I just want to
I'll show you the
remind,
pieces that I have for sale. I do
yes.
have some samples, but I'll just show you the ones that are for sale for now.
Uh,
Um,
please appreciate the content, ladies and gentlemen. I know
all
the
right.
camera is not perfect, but it's, oh, that is beautiful. I can look at that and
Yeah.
as I view this piece, first time I'm seeing it, I get a feeling of being tropical in the Caribbean. I get the
Wow.
feeling of, I get a feeling of young love. Romance is anew. I am getting a
Hmm.
feeling of colors and I'm getting a feeling of, well, you can see that it's eclectic, if I'm using that word in the
Yeah.
right context, but it gives me a
Oh.
good feeling seeing it. Let me finish and
Wow.
then you'll explain it to us. But just for me seeing it for the first time, it
Okay.
it it makes me feel young, young love,
Wow.
young romance, something
Huh.
different, something of the stretch of the imagination, and it's very tropical. Now that doesn't make sense because I'm just blurting these words out, but you tell us the name of the piece and what the hell is it exactly?
Well, that's funny that you say tropical because this one's called Nature Walk.
Nature Walk.
Yeah.
I
So,
like that piece.
in this piece, a lot of the times I will not know what I'm doing till I'm finished. So,
Nature
what I
Walk.
did with this one is sometimes I name them sometimes I name them after, but this one I named after it because as I look at it, And almost every time I look at it, I can make the outline of different animals in it. And so I kept seeing different animals in it, so that's why I called it Nature
Incredible.
Walk, because every time I looked
Nature
at it, I would
walk.
see different animals. Yeah.
Nature walk. I want to encourage all of my viewers who are animal lovers and those who truly appreciate Mother Nature to consider purchasing Nature Walk by our own Caymanian artist, Lucas Anglin from West Bay. He is an artist. Artists must create. An artist must create. And it's also good that they're not starving artists. So they rely on us to buy their work. I can see that. I can see that in a nice law firm. I won't start
Hmm.
calling names of law firms, but I can also see it in the home of politicians as well. I shouldn't I
Wow.
shouldn't pick on my politician friends who are watching, but uh,
Okay.
art is smart and it
Hmm.
embellishes your home. You know, I always
Yeah.
say, those who are intellectually inclined enjoy listening to the classical music, enjoy listening to the jazz, but they
Hmm.
also are art aficionados. They may not be
Ah.
painters or creators themselves, but they support artists and they buy their
Okay.
work and they give the
Yeah.
work as gifts or put in their own home. So that's a nice, I actually like that piece.
So,
Can you give us the price on air or you'd rather not at this time?
um.
Nature Walk.
Well, that one right now, I was just selling that for 75 CI.
That
Yeah.
is so affordable. My
Yeah.
goodness,
It's
$75 CI.
11 by, yeah,
Hold it up again so we
11
can
by
get one last
14.
view. Say again,
Okay, I had it. It's a 11 by 14 piece.
11 by
Um,
14.
and I've got, I think, four more to show you. So just to give you
Nature
time.
Walk, my good friends watching, $75 CI. This could be in your home, as in like tomorrow. Get in touch with
Right.
Lucas Anglin, send him a message on Messenger. He's going to put up his telephone number, his email address, and also the link to his page. Next art piece coming up. Ooh,
Okay, so I'm trying to get this. It's difficult because this is a black and white piece.
I look at it for
Um,
the first time and I'm thinking, E.T.,
I
E.T., outer
hear you.
space,
Yeah.
outer
So,
space, futuristic,
uh,
black and white,
yeah. So,
skeleton
the light.
looking,
Yeah.
life versus death, the
Huh.
darkness that comes before the light. What is it called? What the hell is it?
Okay, so this one is called So She Ran.
So she ran.
Um, yeah. So as I see it, it's a woman kind of running out of an abusive relationship, toxic
Ah,
relationship, or just getting away, beating cancer, something like that. Because if you can see, she's bald. Um,
yes,
it, I know the light is really tricky with this
it is. It's sort of messing it
piece.
up. Yeah, the reflection, the
Yeah,
glare of the light. But
but this is one of my
it's one of
favorite
your
pieces of.
favorites. Why is it one of
Yeah,
your favorites, Lucas? Why is it one of your favorites?
I just like the way it looks. It looks futuristic to me. Um, Trying to get a good angle on it, but that's not happening. So,
Mm-hmm.
it looks futuristic, and I just like the idea of someone getting out of a toxic relationship and she's on to the next thing, looking towards the light, looking towards the
Ah,
future, and running away from the darkness. Yeah.
got you. Well, as I saw it, I did say to you, outer space, light versus
Yep.
dark.
Yep.
Uh, I did sort of get a rush of emotions that were a bit gory and dark, and then of course you explained to us. Uh, is that a personal piece as in a keeper, or would you sell that if someone wanted to buy it as well?
No, I would sell that. That's a standard price. So I have these size pictures that I'm selling for 75 CI just to start out because that's just kind of what I
$75
decided. Yeah.
CI. Oh my goodness. My friends
Yep.
watching, I want you to support. Please support Lucas Anglin. If there's any piece you see here this morning that speaks to you, please purchase it. It can be in your home within the next 24 hours. It's that fast. Uh, he's
Yep.
one of we. He's Caymanian. And how do you build a nation? How do you build and encourage your people? By supporting them.
Hmm.
By supporting them. Charity begins at home. And that's how you build your
Yep.
nation by empowering your people. so that they can
Yeah.
prosper in that nation. Okay, another art piece. It's now 10 minutes to 1. We have 10 minutes left in the show. I look at this
Okay,
piece
so
for the first, I see this for the first time. I'm thinking
yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm thinking Out
Huh.
of This World. I'm thinking Carnival, Rio de Janeiro. I'm thinking
Oh.
Let's Get Wild. Let's Get Out
Huh.
of Our Minds. What the hell is this piece called? It is Out of This World. Tell
Okay.
us about it.
This one's called Reincarnate. So I don't know if you
Reincarnate.
can. Yeah. So if you see, there's bug eyes on either side of the skull. I see that
Yes,
as a bug. So I either see
yes.
it as the human reincarnating as a bug or a bug reincarnating as a human.
That's deep, brother.
So
That's deep.
yeah, so I see like a lot of kind of shock in the skull's eyes, like either way if he's passing on or reincarnating, he's shocked. So and I just like the colors of this one too. One of my favorite things to do is like psychedelic skulls. I don't know
Gotcha.
why, but I love
And
doing it. Yeah.
Lucas, anybody who's into rock music, heavy metal or rock music, I could see that being a cover of an album or a CD.
Yeah, I see that too. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And incidentally, you also write music. So one of these days, Lucas will be writing song. Well, he is writing songs. Perhaps in the future,
Yeah.
he'll produce an album of original songs. He'll design his own CD covers, and of course, he's also writing a book of nonfiction back in the Wild Wild West. But the Wild Wild West
Yep.
meets the future. He's still writing that
Yes,
story.
sir.
Lucas Anglin, let us see. You have two more to show or one more to show?
This is the last one. So
This
this
is the
one,
last one. It's the first time I'm
yeah.
seeing it, and I want to say, let me live. New life. I don't want to die. Pro
Hmm.
life. Anti abortion. Give me strength. In the womb. Motherhood.
Wow.
Birth. That's what comes to my
Wow.
mind. What is it, please?
Wow, that's awesome. Wow.
This is the first time
So
I'm
this
seeing
one's
it.
called, yeah, I mean your descriptions are awesome. Um this one's called Kiss by Fire.
Kiss by Fire.
Um, yeah, so this one I don't know if you can see the outline of the lady. That's the nose there, lips down here. So I
Yes.
just see her like a lady of fire and I just
Oh,
called
yes,
it Kiss.
yes, 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 yes. I now see that. This is one of
Yeah,
those where you what first meets the eye doesn't necessarily mean that's it. You can look again and see,
right.
but now I'm actually seeing the woman, her
Yeah,
nose, her lips, and she's kissing the fire. I
yep,
didn't see that at first.
right.
I thought it was an
Yep,
embryo. That is
right.
amazing. It's like
Wow.
it's like a piece I saw on Facebook. It looks like wine glasses, empty wine glasses standing up.
Oh,
But then if you
yeah.
switch it, it looks like women dancing in the nude. So it all depends how you look at it.
Yep.
That's and that piece is called. You told me,
Kissed by Fire.
"Kiss by Fire." What's
Yep.
the so everything is $75? You don't go beyond $75 CI? I mean, I
I
could
do
do it.
actually. I've got something on the wall here too. This is
Pull
one
it
of the
off the
canvas
wall.
ones.
Oil and can is that's oil and canvas?
No, this is digital canvas, so it's
Digital.
digitally made but printed on canvas. But
Gotcha.
this is called Irie
What
Jupiter.
what is it called?
Irie, like Irie because of the colors, and
Yes.
then Jupiter. I don't know if you can see the sign here. Um, this is
Yes.
the sign for the Jupiter planet sign. And then I was also born on the 24th, so it looks like a two and a four. And my
Yes.
initials LA, my initials LA are also in it, so it's all in one. But
Irie
that's
Jupiter. That's hanging on your
yeah.
wall. That tells me that's a personal keeper. You're not selling that. Or is it for sale?
Um, this one's for sale as well. I do have some that I have up on different parts of the wall that I'm not selling, but these canvases are going for 150 CI
Which is
for
still
now.
very affordable.
Yeah,
$150 CI. I could
for
see
now.
artists asking $500 or $800 for that. You're asking 150 CI. That's affordable.
For now. For now, yeah. Hopefully I get to the point where I can ask that much, but for now, yeah.
And you will. Well, you're being very modest. You're being very humble, because as you said in your biography, you've always loved art, but it's not until the last 2 years that you've become very serious about your art. And for those just joining us, Lucas Anglin is a Caymanian American. He's an artist who's worked most of his life in tourism here in Cayman. Uh, he makes music, he writes, and he makes artwork. He's a big believer in the golden rule: do unto others as you'd have done unto you. And he does not like to see anyone treated unfairly. His goal is to eventually have his own art studio here on Grand Cayman, and his art styles would be considered futuristic art. That's his style and his mediums. His artwork is available on Instagram, Lights Eye Art, and on Facebook, Lights Eye Art. Once we come off air, he's going to put the links in the Facebook thread, his email address,
Yep.
and contact telephone number. Please support
Yes, sir.
Lucas Anglin. Let me tell you something. We talk about our young people. We talk about them finding creative ways to challenge their energies. Lucas tonight could be in prison. He could be at Her Majesty's Northwood Prison. He could be drunk and homeless. But he decides to take what he has, get the help that he needs through therapy. So he's not drinking, he's not drugging, he's not a criminal becoming a burden on
Right.
society and another inmate at Her Majesty's Northward. We have to support our Caymanian talented youth because he could choose another lifestyle, but he has chosen to accept his God-given talent and put them to use. I say congratulations, and I say we support him because so many of our youth, sometimes they're born on the other side of the tracks and they make wrong choices. Now, Lucas, you have a story to tell within the last 5 minutes of the show. Uh, you've had your run-ins with self-destruction, but thank goodness for therapy and the 12-step program. You're doing very well today. You want to talk about that ever so briefly?
Um, sure.
Or you, without going into any
Yeah, I
great
mean,
detail?
yeah, I've struggled with going overboard with alcohol. And in the last about year and a half or so, I've done a bunch of 12-step programs and a bunch of meetings and stuff like that.
Very good.
And still sticking
Very
with
good.
it, doing my own meetings outside,
Very good.
some Zoom, some just in the
Right.
house, with people.
And you
Um,
don't need to go into any great detail there because I understand the whole confidentiality, and you don't have to go into, all people need to know is you're a part of the 12-step program, and you can Google the 12 step because the 12
yeah,
steps are for anybody who wants to become the best version of themselves. That's it.
yeah, that's true.
We don't have to
That's
talk
true.
about specific addictions. We don't have to talk about our demons because we all have our demons. But you have managed to arrest your demons, and you go to therapy, and you're a part of an awesome 12-step program, as I am, by the way. And this is how we
Okay.
get better. So I'm just asking all Caymanians, all Americans, all our visitors to our shores, and those in the World Wide Web to support this young man who is an artist, Lucas Anglin. He creates from the heart, as all good artists do. Lucas, your email address, your telephone number.
I'm not gonna put that out on air.
Fair enough.
Uh,
What you want to do, how we can get in touch with you, you just add to the Facebook thread once we come off air. Okay, is that fine?
yeah, you can do just Lights Eye Art on Instagram, Lights Eye Art on Facebook, hashtag Lights Eye Art. You'll find it all on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And you can just direct message me there for now. And we can handle business there, or if you just wanna follow me on those things, you can do that. Lights Eye Art on Instagram and Facebook.
Where do we see Lucas in 10 years' time in the year 2030?
Well, hopefully I've got this studio that I was telling you about. And I'm having a good time watching people having a good time going through my studio and enjoying it.
My guest has been Lucas Anglin, philosopher, writer, and artist from West Bay. Thank you for joining us on another edition of Midnight Minds. We come to you every Saturday night at the stroke of midnight for a deep intellectual conversation. Thank you for staying up with us. Share this broadcast and please support Lucas Anglin, Lights Eye Art. Find him on Facebook and find him on Instagram. I'm Quincy Brown. Thank you for joining me, Lucas.
I
Good morning.
appreciate it, Quincy. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right.